Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're talking about the weeklies for August 25th to the 31st. We're going to get right into it for my lovely Leos. You know I love you guys. I'm a moon in Leo myself and I resonate with these readings quite a lot. So let's get right into it. Healing family issues. This came out earlier for one of the other signs. Keep an open mind. And we have very soon. All right. So, this may resonate with you in part, a little bit, each of them, or you may resonate with one or the other messages more. Let's get into your animal spirits. We're going to see what kind of animal spirits you're walking with this week. And remember, with animal spirits, all of these archetypes in these animal spirits are just portions or facets to the human soul. These are all, some of the animal spirits can indicate times in our lives, can indicate awakenings, messages. Some of them can indicate embodying certain qualities of ourselves more than others. All right, so just take it as it resonates with you and enjoy throwing the rest away. Eagle, air energy, beautiful. Earthworm, all right, this came out earlier. Another animal spirit that rarely comes up, of course it is earth energy. And the lizard, wow. Okay, so the lizard is also another one that makes a very rare appearance in my reading, certainly, and it is, of course, fire element. Okay, so let's just talk about the eagle first. What an incredible animal spirit to have come up. Certainly can indicate working towards a goal, right? A spiritual goal, an emotional goal, but a high level of achievement, right? The eagle is all-pervading power. When you see an eagle in the air, the way they fly, this, you know, the way they hunt, beautiful, beautiful energy. Eagle is a truth seeker, all right, a transformer of karma, all right. So you can see the eagle, you can see almost the sun shining there in the card to indicate clarity, all-pervading clarity. So yes, this bird is physically and spiritually strong, right? And it talks about a mastery over fire and air to a certain degree, even though this is an air elemental animal. Sometimes the eagle can show up when you're being thrown into karmic fire in a way, right? You're almost like sometimes a baptism by fire when you're being thrown into a situation that requires a lot of physical and spiritual fortitude. It's for the sake of your own transformation though, right? So whatever you're being thrown into, although you're requiring a lot of fortitude, it is for your ultimate better transformation, right? And again, it's a chance to see a truth, a truth maybe about yourself or about life. Talks about reaching our highest goals, right? Now the earthworm, which is earth energy, talks about being the earthworm is very shy, very hesitant, can indicate a sense of intimidation at times, a feeling of newness, right? The earthworm is, can be a little bit apprehensive, right? They're at the beginning of learning something new about themselves. This could be, for instance, an example could be if you are starting a new profession and you quite haven't found your feet, or you're learning new sides of yourself spiritually and you're starting to get into spiritual studies and you're feeling perhaps a little bit intimidated by them, right? It's just a sense of, this is not low self-esteem. This is just a little lack of self-confidence and a little bit of an intimidation in a particular situation, right? Now the lizard is, of course, fire energy. And the lizard is interesting because the lizard is a creature that is very, very sensitive and very instinctual, right? They respond in a very instinctual way. If you've ever seen a lizard out in the wild, they move very quick. They can hear very imperceptible sounds, movements. They can see sensitive to movement, sounds, you know, to the subtleties in life. The lizard is the great dreamer in the card, right? He's an expert in the realm of sensory perception. So, you know, sometimes, again, like I said, when you see a lizard in the wild, it's almost as if they're moving. You don't even know what's made the lizard move. You can't perceive, but the lizard can. And so this is another sign of this increased sense of perception. The lizard has a sixth sense, right? So it can almost hear what hasn't been spoken and seen what hasn't manifested. It's almost as if the lizard, you know how animals work on different times. It's as if the lizard we're slower than it in a way. It sees things so quickly, right? It picks up information and subtly so quickly. Overstimulation can really drain the lizard, you know, when you're embodying this kind of energy. Oftentimes being in crowds or being around a lot of people is a kind of overstimulation in a way, right? And it can be too much. It can be quite draining. So sometimes it can indicate a time of life where you need to pull back from the lights, the sounds, the people, and be more still, simply because you are taking in so much more information. All right, guys, so Leos, air, earth, and fire energy. No water represented. So let's see. Now, of course, you may resonate with some of these animal spirits in part or in whole. They could also represent people that you're dealing with in your life this week, people that are regular players in your life as well. But, of course, these are general readings for life, love, and career. So these animal spirits can manifest in multiple ways. So let's just see what's going on with you this week, Leo. Of course, take what resonates for you and throw the rest away. Not everything can resonate with everyone, and of course these readings are general. So let's get right into it. 7 of Swords, we have 5 of Wands, and a King of Cups. Wow. Okay, so some of you are dealing with, a King of Cups. There's a King of Cups in your life, I want to say, and some of you are dealing with someone who is not playing kind of fair, right? Now, it could be the King of Cups in your life, but that would be a toxic individual. But I want to say it's like this week you may be coming up against some challenges. You have a 5 of Wands. I'm going to get back to the 7 of Swords. You may be coming up against some challenges in your personal life or in your social circle, a kind of a bickering that's been going on between a particular group of individuals and yourselves. You guys are kind of at odds with each other, right? Now, behind the scenes, there is someone who's kind of instigating all of this, and this is the 7 of Swords. Okay? They're instigating this kind of battle of wills, this power struggle, Leo, and I think this week it's going to come out who this is. Now, somewhere along the line, there's a King of Cups that's playing a very important part in all of this. Now, this could very well be a bickering or a rivalry that is happening for a King of Cups affection, right? It could be that you have a King of Cups in your life, or someone who's embodying that energy in your life, and you're being really kind of challenged for their affection. There could be somebody else that wants them in their lives and they're challenging you. But behind the scenes also, there's someone else that's kind of working against you. All right. 7 of Swords is, it's the great dream thief, right? It's the person who comes and steals, you know, kind of covets your dreams and successes, tries to take the wind out of your sails in a way. And usually this is somebody very close to you. So this is a really interesting spread. I want to say take care this week, Leo. Watch those close to you and watch those closer to you closer. All right? Because there's a very real behind the scenes effort to keep you away from your King of Cups. Hanged Man, Hierophant, and Justice. Wow. Okay, some of you are stuck in a really kind of difficult family situation. Some of you may be stuck in a loveless relationship or a loveless marriage. You may be in that marriage because of cultural responsibilities or religious responsibilities. But the issue is coming up. Justice is here. Something has to give. There is an imbalance somewhere, and so justice is coming in to readdress that balance. Something certainly, I want to say this Hanged Man energy is sort of an energy that you feel like you're being forced in a way. And so you're just kind of like going along with it, but you're not happy with the scenario. This is involving a lot of family pressure. I want to say it could also indicate family pressures and in a way almost like not blackmail, but almost like, you know, if you don't follow what the family wants you to do, then we're going to cut you out of the will type of scenario. We're going to cut you out of the legacy, the family inheritance, what have you. There's a real level of kind of emotional and material blackmail kind of, or bullying that's going on here, and it's causing you to be really kind of stuck where you're at. It's causing you to be really kind of in a position where you feel like you just don't want to move forward. You know, it's like fighting against all of this almost seems to be too much, and you'd rather just go along with it. I think this week, all of this kind of energy is going to be highlighted. And it may come that there's time for this to sort of like change. We're talking about eagle energy. Remember, the eagle talks about great emotional, physical, spiritual fortitude in the face of a transformative period that is very hard to go through. And so you may be indeed about to, because the Hanged Man comes when you're about to awaken, when you're about to go through a transformation. You realize it. And yeah, but you've been in this space for quite some time. This is a very heavy spread for somebody who's dealing with some very heavy family issues, family, I want to say guilt, pressure, all right? And all of this begins to come out this week. 8 of Cups, the Sun, and 9 of Cups. All right, so 8 of Cups, some of you have certainly decided to move away from toxic relationships. You've decided enough is enough. Again, more ego energy in a sense that it probably took you a lot of physical and spiritual fortitude again to make this decision. 8 of Cups is when you decided to put boundaries in place, requirements and standards of people who you allow to be close to you in your life. You no longer just accept any kind of offer. You're being much more realistic about what type of relationships you want. And you realize that sometimes you may have to walk the path alone, indeed, for a little while before you find the right person who's going to take you to that level of higher connection. You're leaving these 8 cups behind in the realm of lower and shallow connection. You're ready to move up. And so you get a lot of clarity this week. You get a lot of reaffirmation. It could be that you get signs coming in that you've made the right decision. And you also get indications that you're going to get a wish fulfillment. This wish fulfillment, 9 of Cups, could have been something that eluded you in the past because of your maybe your not insistence, but you know, your prevalence in dealing with kind of shallow relationships, shallow individuals, right? Negative energies. And that decision to move away from that finally opens up the door to a wish fulfillment that you've had for quite some time. 4 of Pentacles, Strength card, which is 8 major arcana and 9 of Pentacles. Some of you are certainly you feel like your stability is being threatened, right? You feel like your financial stability may be threatened. You feel like you're going to have to certainly work a little bit harder to maintain your hold on your status right now. This could be that at work you may be getting challenges to your authority. You may be having to compete for that promotion, right? Something may be going on in some way or another in your career that it feels as though it may threaten your stability. And so this week you're being asked to be very strong, to be very determined. Could be that up until now you may have been quite apprehensive, maybe in your earthworm energy, but now this week you're going to have to be very, like I said, very strong, emotionally strong too, right? Try not to let your anger get the best of you. Try not to let your pride get the best of you. This situation is going to call for you to be very kind of prudent in a way and careful. But I believe that if you do exercise this strength, you will not only maintain your stability, but you may even find yourself in a even better situation with that Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles indicates a certain level of abundance you've reached after working very hard and being very, very determined. It's kind of arriving at your own garden, right? Now just take care, because Nine of Pentacles can indicate that sometimes you may alienate yourself from closer relationships or love relationships for the sake of, you know, chasing that coin or establishing your status, right? But that's just a warning in the Nine of Pentacles. I think in this case you are making the right decision. And all of this is going to transpire for some of you this week. This Nine of Pentacles status, though, may not come this week. It may come later. But this week is the week where you're going to certainly have to employ a lot of emotional strength to kind of get through and to maintain your stability. King of Swords, Eight of Swords, and the Tower. All right, so wow, some of you have had enough, right? So King of Swords talks about honesty, cutting through bullshit with that sword of honesty, being more sort of, I want to say, demanding, right, of those around you. Things change. I think you heal a certain relationship with somebody who's been very toxic to you. Eight of Swords is a very toxic individual. It could be that if you're not embodying King of Swords, the King of Swords energy could come in this week in the form of an individual who really opens your eyes to some things. They may open your eyes to the fact that you're being victimized in a way, that you may be playing the victim card. They could also be opening your eyes to someone in your life who is very toxic, who is a gaslighter. You may not have known that this person is actually toxic. You may have been believing a lot of the kind of sort of self-victimizing bullshit that they've been telling you. You know, oh, poor me, I can't do anything because everybody else around me hates me, you know, and you may have been buying into that, but somehow this week there is a sense of truth that comes in. It could be somebody who brings in some information that you didn't know about this person. But whatever the case may be, once this information, this conversation, or this encounter happens, it's as if everything gets turned upside down. It could be that you are involved with someone who is embodying Eight of Swords energy, and you find out that maybe they've been lying the whole time about, you know, they may have been saying, oh yeah, you know, I was raised a poor orphan, you know, and blah, 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 you know, and it turns out all of that is a lie, right? It's just very much everything you believed this person, I think, to be, or everything that you held on to, which allowed you to continue to deal with this toxic person. It's kind of like you get awakened this week and you really have your mind blown as to the level and the depths of which this person has been lying to you. King of Wands, Magician, and Judgment. This is the last spread for you guys, Leo. All right, so some of you are very much embodying your King of Wands. You're being called to be, You may be called to lead something in particular, to be the leader of a project or something at work. It could be something in your social circle as well, but certainly people are looking to you for leadership in some area, right? For some of you Leos, you are indeed embodying ego energy in the sense that you are mastering that air and fire quality of yourself, which is very King of Wands also. Of course, King of Wands is fire of fire energy, because kings are fire, wands are fire. But you are very much taking up that role this week, right? You're the king, you're the Leo, right? And you're finding yourself really manifesting this role very easily. And it's interesting because it's almost like you have an awakening to some skills within you that you may not have realized you had. This could be very earthworm in a way that, you're emerging into something in yourself. Of course, you're a king in a lot of ways, Leo. Again, not gender specific, but there's something else, some other talent or ability that you are that you are opening up to about yourself, that you are realizing you have within yourself, that you're beginning to cultivate this week. And as a result of that, you have a bit of an epiphany. Whatever this ability is, or this new talent or skill that you realize that you have, that's come out of you taking up this leadership role, is really opened your eyes to some things about yourself, perhaps some judgments that you had about yourself, maybe some insecurities, or maybe some misplaced guilt that you've been harboring, and you certainly begin to learn to let all of that go because of this kind of new awakening of yourself. I want to say this is definitely a facet of your own personality or spiritual potential that you did not necessarily realize you had before. All right. And so this awakening is very much a kind of awakening, an epiphany for you. And it causes you to shed a lot of guilt that you've had, a lot of misplaced anxieties, judgments that you've had about yourself and about particular situations that you've been through in your life. So it's almost as if like you re-look at a lot of things in your life with opened eyes, and you realize things aren't always as they seem. All right, my lovely Leos, this is your forecast for the week of August 25th to the 31st. If this resonated with you, of course, like and subscribe. Share the video with your other Leos. Share the video with your partners, your friends, those of the people in your life that you think could benefit from it. Sound off below in the comments and tell us your experience for the week as well. I do love the comments and I do reply to all of them. But for right now, my lovely Leos, have a wonderful week. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.